What's up YouTube, Warstorm here, coming at you guys another video today. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my Invoked Eldlich deck profile. Been having a lot of fun with this deck. It's finally good to kind of have, it really fits a lot of the boxes I ticked when I enjoy a deck. There's a lot of recurring, it can grind, there's a lot of recurring boss monsters and stuff. And it just has a lot of things to grind out resources, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Sky Strikers, but with an actual boss monster. And it's really been fun to play. I have really enjoyed it, and in a way, we'll go ahead and get to deck profile. So a lot of you guys know some of these cards. I'm not going to spend too much time on them. We all know it's invoked, so you're going to have 3 Alistair. It searches your invocation. Not too much to say there. The 3 Golden Lords, I've seen a lot of. You can definitely get away with 2. But personally, it's a card I really enjoy seeing in my hand because it can get dead cards out of your hand, and the fact that it can, and it can also send, it can bait out things. It's not a dead draw in the hand at all. And so, in my opinion, I want to see this card as, I want to see Golden Lord. It's Eldlich, so I want to see, the main monster as much as often as possible. It's also a level 10, so you can use it for some rank 10 shenanigans. And it's invoked, so you are going to be playing a decent chunk of hand traps. 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, and I do have the Gamma alongside the Driver. As I stated in my Shadal Dino deck profile, I really do like the fact that Gamma gets the threat off the field. That'll never be a point where that's not super duper relevant. It can also be really helpful for baiting, because you can use it on your turn as well. If your opponent, say, Ash Blossoms one of your traps and you have your Scarlet Sanguine and you have no monsters on board, summon Gamma. If your opponent Ash Blossoms your Cursed Eldlich, summon Gamma. With this deck, you're not always going, once you have monsters on the field, you obviously can't use it, but there's a lot of different scenarios where it's just really good. And Ash is just something it's just the most generic hand trap. There's always going to be something that it's going to hit, no matter what the matchup is. I'm playing Effect Veiler. You could definitely play Infinite Impermanence instead if you do have them, but me personally, I'm trying to keep, actual hand traps. Like, the problem with Impermanence is you're going to be setting a lot of back row, and you don't want to get your back row too cluttered. So, ideally, Effect Veiler is a little bit better, but you can definitely even play both if you so wish. Then we are playing the Dragoon package in here. The main reason is it's because it allows you to play into fields pretty well as well. The fact that you can, summon all your Eldlich stuff and then summon a Dragoon to punch your opponent in the face and clear their field. Because Dragoon and Golden Lord is almost game-ending damage. That on its own is going to be game-ending damage for a lot of scenarios. So personally, that's why it's in here. It's not, the deck can't efficiently summon it turn 1, but that's not the goal. The goal is to have it here for punching into fields and clearing fields to secure a game. Because the deck's a grind deck, so obviously you want to have ways to end the game as soon as possible. Then for the invoke spells, of course, the 3 meltdowns, the 1 terraforming, and the 2 invocations. I've always been an advocate of 2 invocations simply because it's not the best card to hard draw. If you are playing a variant of Invoke that has Pot of Desires, and obviously that's the one situation where you'd want to play 3. And it's sometimes nice to have it if your opponent Ash Blossoms your Alistair on summon. So there's something to be said for playing 3. I personally like 2. I know that 3 is probably, the optimal number or whatever. It's just I hate to put it this way, but I just like 2. It's a personal preference, as much as I hate the phrase. Then we have the 1 of Called by the Grave. Invoked, as I've stated, you need your Alistair to go off. Fortunately, this thing is at 1, so I can only play 1. I'd play 3 if I could, but again, that's why it's at 1. Then for the last 4 spells, we have 3 Cursed Eldlich and the 1 Elixir of White Destiny. White Destiny is one of those cards where it's nice to have because you can set it at the end. It can be one of those last few things that you set with some of your traps. But Cursed Eldlich is an obvious 3 of. It's an insane consistency card for the deck. And on top of that, when it's sent to the grave it can also dump something else to the grave. So it can do anything from dump extra copies of spells and traps to be banished to dumping an extra copy of Golden Lord so you don't get too many, hard draw them when you don't want to. It's just a really, really ridiculously strong card. Not too much to say about that. And for the traps, it's Eldlich, so there's going to be a bunch of them. The 3 Scarlet Sanguines, the 3 Conquistadors of the Gold, and the 3 Hunkeros, the 1 Golden Land Forever. This one is one of those cards where I like having it because it can catch a lot of things that normally Eldlich struggles with. If you have a Mechaba on the board, typically you won't always, unless you hold a trap in hand, you're not going to have a negation if your opponent has something like Evenly Matched, or you might not have a spell in hand for Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm. These are things you're going to see. So the important thing is to make sure you have some form of way to stop it, and this thing is pretty dang searchable. It's not the best solution, and I think when you're going, you definitely want to have things like Solemn Judgment in your side deck for those as well. But the fact that it's searchable, the fact that it can catch a lot of those things that people might be using against you is pretty nice. It's definitely something though that you side out when you go into games 2 and 3 and you're going second. The traps are pretty self-explanatory. Sanguine summons Eldlich from the deck. It's ridiculously good. If they're gonna hit anything, they need to hit this for the deck. But these two are kind of nice because they're level 5 light monsters, so you can use them for things like Pallades, which is kind of cute. But they're also pretty dang good disruptions. For example, Hunkero can banish things out of your opponent's graveyard, which is really nice, and Conquistadors can pop something without targeting. They're pretty. These are the reason the deck is so dang good. Then for the extra deck, I have for the fusions, I have the 2 Mechabus, the 1 Caliga, the 1 Purgatrio, and the 1 Dark Dragoon. I feel like this is a perfectly fine lineup. I haven't felt the need to play any more fusions than this. Caliga sometimes comes up in some matchups where you're playing against a dark deck, but again, it's mostly kind of just filling a void. Like, you can play something else if you feel like it, but again, like, the extra deck here is not super tight. We obviously talked about Dragoon earlier, and of course the Anaconda for Dragoon. And then we have the Almirage and the Secure Garden. This is pretty standard stuff for invokes. You link into Almirage and Secure Garden, and that gives you a free light monster to use to summon Mechaba. Really, really good cards. Then for Link 2s, I have Nightmare Phoenix and Invoker of Madness. These are spots that can be covered by other things. Nightmare Phoenix could definitely be Selene if you're looking to do the Selene into Access Code Talker play. And Invoker of Madness is just something, it's an Invoke deck, so I kind of feel like I have to play it, but it's definitely something you can flex out. The 1 Burl Sword, you're not going to summon it too much, but I feel like, if you can't, you might, so it's not bad to have in there. The extra deck space isn't tight. Pallades is there for when you have 2 of the zombie things out, you can overlay into it, it's pretty cute. And then we have some rank 10s, we have the Sky Palace, the Dreadnought, the Dora, and the Gustav Max. You could definitely put in the Libe. I actually had just ordered one not too long ago. You can definitely replace Phoenix for Libe because it's kind of cool, but it's another way you can end games is you can go into Gustav Max, burn your opponent for 2,000, then overlay the train on top of it, punish your opponent for game. So these are just kind of pieces that are just, you can summon them and you didn't go into Libe. I just haven't gotten my Libe yet, so, but they're still really solid rank 10s and you can make them, so put them in your extra deck. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought of this deck profile down in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Soarstorm, signing out.